Did you know that if you eat and drink staining foods within 2 days of getting your teeth professionally whitened, it can actually lead to more staining? For most people, having whiter teeth leads to more confidence and more smiles. More smiles typically lead to better social interactions. So if you find this information useful, please stick around. I will tell you some of the reasons why our teeth stain, what you can do about it, and my number one tip for keeping that wider smile that you've worked so hard for. So before I address the types of staining that occurs, I want to first address the common myth that yellow teeth is unhealthy. That is absolutely false. Okay, based on your genetic makeup and your environment, everybody will have different thickness of enamel. Okay, the thinner the enamel is, the more the inner color of the dentin, which is yellow, will show through. So just because your teeth is a little more yellow than somebody else does not mean that they are unhealthy. So there are two main types of staining that typically occurs. The first one is called intrinsic, which is what happens inside the tooth from such things as trauma, medication, and age. And I will kind of go quickly through that, but I won't go into depth. And the second one is extrinsic, and this is what most people normally see, and this usually occurs from foods and drinks and tobacco products. So the first one we'll get out of the way is intrinsic staining. So this is from the inside out. Okay, so trauma to the tooth, if you happen to hit it, that tooth can turn dark. The other one is medication related staining. So during the developmental age, as you're growing up, basically 8 years and younger, if you take certain medication like tetracycline, it can stain your permanent teeth and it will show these gray lines through them. To whiten these teeth require more invasive things, and in some cases you can't whiten them. You have to cover them. So my recommendation is talk to your dentist about what you can do for these intrinsic stainings. Okay, so extrinsic staining, just know that these are something you can do about, okay? Number one are foods. There's certain foods that cause staining like berries, beets, and even tomato-based sauces. So for you pasta lovers, beware. Number two is drinks, coffee, tea, wine, soda, or pop, wherever you're from, can cause staining. And number three are tobacco products. Okay, this is very common. Smoking, vaping, and chewing, all these things will cause extrinsic staining. Okay, some pro tips for those surface stains. Number one is drink through a straw. By drinking through a straw, you bypass that front teeth and you reduce staining over time. Number two is drink water right afterwards. Get it down, rinse it, and get it over with, okay? Number three is do not sip on your drink for a long period of time, okay? You need to slam it. Just kidding. But you do need to get it down quickly. So 10-20 minutes, great. Rinse with water and move on. Okay, so before I move on to the actual whitening, if you find this content useful or helpful, please share it with your friends and consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Now on to the whitening. Okay, now what I will recommend is backed up by research. Okay, what I won't give you are the DIY that you can find on the interweb out there that claim it whitens and you can do it for super cheap. Now they may work for you, and if it does, that's wonderful, but be real careful. There are certain products out there that is harsh to your teeth and they can cause damage. So before I can recommend something, make sure you have looked into it and have done some research before you dive into anything like that. There are two main types of whitening that you can find. The over-the-counter you can get at the store, and then the other one that you can get at your dentist's office. Typically, the over-the-counter refers to a certain percentage, and it's usually in reference to carbamide peroxide. And the concentration, what you will normally find in the store, is the concentration of like 20% or less, okay? And then the ones that you can get at your dentist's office are usually above 20%. And the reason for this is the lesser one is less harsh, okay, it can cause damage to your gums, okay, and your teeth. So they don't keep it in high concentration to be sold to the public. The ones that you can get at the dentist office, those are monitored. We put these blocks around your gums to protect them while they're getting whitened. And you are supervised during this time. We don't just let you do it, okay? And if you're going to take home that whitening kit, they normally give you instructions on how to use it properly so you can avoid hurting yourself. So keep that in mind when you are considering over the counter versus the one you can do at your dentist's office. Okay, let's say that you have made the decision to go to your dentist to have them professionally whiten. Here's where you have to be real careful. Did you know that if you eat certain foods and drinks that are staining within 2 days of getting your professionally whitened teeth, that you can actually cause more staining over time? Keep this in mind. When you professionally whiten your teeth, the pores in your teeth will kind of unclog or open up. This will allow the stain to come out, okay? But this leaves your teeth vulnerable for a couple of days, okay? So make sure you stay away from things that can stain your teeth. So that way, all that hard work that you put into whitening your teeth can stay that way for a lot longer. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a couple of things about whitening your teeth and how to keep them that way. If you find this information useful, please share it with your friends and family. I do appreciate it. And until next time, take care.